All right, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were both in New York last night for a town hall focusing on the United States military and foreign policy. Joining me now is former Goldman Sachs partner Peter Kiernan. Peter, good morning to you.
Great to be with you again.
Good to have you. All right, this is a fair enough way to set this up. Give the candidates a grade last night on their performance.
Well, you got to admit, it was great theater. It was kind of getting a little boring on the campaign trail. Good substance and a whiff of what's going to come in Hofstra. I thought that Trump got a B, but I'll give him a special award for the most improved. He didn't step in any major pails. I thought he was right to focus on Putin. I thought he did it in the wrong way. I think Putin has been canny and clever and devious, and he's testing everywhere.
His critics are saying he praised Vladimir Putin last night, and we have been rolling on the sound this morning. It does sort of sound like that.
Yeah, it was too much of that. And frankly, what he should have said is, look, George H.W. Bush drew Gorbachev closer. You keep your enemies closer. We may have some tactical reasons to work with Gorbachev or with Putin, but we're never going to be strategic allies with Russia.
All right, so Donald Trump gets a B in your book. How about Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton, I'll give her a B+ only because she's had a little bit more experience, but I think she may have copied off Colin Powell's paper. I'm not sure.
Now, are these your personal views, or are you trying to be...
Oh, no, my personal view is I think Hillary did well when she said she was tournament tested and tough and experienced. Her defense on her emails was an architecture of words. It literally was too lawyerly. And so she's going to have to polish that up and get a lot more loose on that before she goes to Hofstra and the big debates. I would say that where Trump also, I think, reducing to rubble, you know, the generals, I think that's red meat for his critics. I think what he should have said is, look, our generals are overextended. We're asking them to go all over the world. Our generals are overruled routinely by the White House. Our generals are overspent and basically overcut by the sequestration. And so there's a lot of pressure on our generals, and I want to build them back up. I think it's a lot more effective.
We should have added one more question here. What was your grade for the moderator? There's a lot of talk about Matt Lauer actually pressing Hillary Clinton on a lot of those issues, but at the same time failing to press them on some fact-checking.
Well, I would say leave the fact-checking to the fact-checkers. Yeah. I thought he did a reasonably balanced job. I was afraid he was going to be very tilted. He wasn't. I think he gave Trump ample opportunity to defend himself, which I think Trump did reasonably well. He stayed on message. I don't think anybody scored any lasting blows. And I think the real power is it's all a signal of what's to come. And I think it's going to be quite a debate.
All right. And as we know, President Obama is campaigning with Hillary Clinton. He's scheduled his entire month of October to campaign for her. Earlier today, he said Trump should not be president on his trip in Asia. Listen.
As far as Mr. Trump, I think I've already offered my opinion. I don't think the guy's qualified to be president of the United States. And every time he speaks, that opinion is confirmed.
Democrats keep saying Trump is unfit to be president. What do you say in response to that and what he just said?
I think it can break both ways for Donald Trump. I don't think having a ringing endorsement of Obama wins in an awful lot of sectors. That if you look at what's going in the economy, with jobs, with the way that our industry is crumbling, I don't think any of that is a big advertisement for the Obama administration. So for him to say Hillary and I are joined at the hip, I think that helps, in many, many cases, helps Trump.
It blows my mind with what, and you make a fair point, that Donald Trump doesn't focus more on the economy, considering the numbers and the dismal job situation that we are still in.
And I want to have him have lunch with, who was that advisor said, it's the economy, stupid? It is the #1 thing, and it's not working well. This is his chance.
I think he will get to that point, and I think maybe, as you point out, maybe he's waiting for Hofstra to really get to it. But I mean, people doubted him, and I was one of them from the very beginning. He's gotten to this point, so you have to believe he kind of has a game plan here. So I think he realizes how important the economy is, and I think he really is going to focus on that at the right time. And I think that's what's going to really resonate with people, from millennials to older people.
Yeah, but why wait, really? I don't think that's a good enough reason to wait. He really should at least be touching on it a little bit. He almost never really mentions it.
I think you're right. I think if somebody's, what time is it? You say the economy's terrible and jobs are going nowhere. I agree with you. This is one you hammer every day.
All right.
It's how he needs to, what Doug Schoen was talking about, corruption and change. Those are the kind of two overarching themes. And the change, you fold the economy into that.
All right, and there's this new report out, Peter, we want to get to, revealing nearly 10 million men are missing from the workforce. Essentially 1 in 6 prime-age men in the United States does not have a job, to our point. Peter, that is worse than it was during the Great Depression. Is it a fair question to say, I mean, this is the result of, obviously, Obama has been in office nearly 8 years. He's coming to the end of 2 terms in office. This is still the situation that we are looking at economically.
No question. Not only are wages going nowhere, but jobs are going nowhere. And the worst part about it is we have right now in this country 4 million plus skill-based, high-paying jobs that are open and available. They don't need the genius of job creation. They need to be filled. And so where is the bridge from those 10 million men to those 5 million jobs? We're talking all about interest rate cuts and are we going to continue to hike? And we're not spending any time talking about how do you build jobs. And the way you build jobs is not with broad brush. It's one at a time. Every governor, every mayor should know, of those 5 million jobs that are available, how many are available in my city? And how do I get the men and women of my town into those jobs? That's how you fill jobs. You don't do it by beating up the Fed and saying, please, more stimulus from the Fed. It won't work. We've hit diminishing returns. It's time to go to fiscal policy.
Who's the best candidate for the economy and to fix the situation?
It's not even close in my mind. Donald Trump is the only one who can fix the economy.
All right.
But talk about fair. He gave Hillary Clinton a B+ last night. So
exactly. That's why I had to circle back.
Fair and balanced. That's what I want.
Very good. Peter Kiernan, thank you.
Great to be with you again.
All right,
Thank
you too. Coming up, Formula One racing ahead with a new owner. Big news, the details on the $4 billion deal.